Southern California weather. It doesn't matter. I mean,
True.
it's what's July 10th? Do you know how hot it would be in New York or someplace on the East Coast? I don't even know. It's probably super hot today. And even if it gets warm here, if it gets super hot, 100 degrees, which is unusual, there's still no humidity.
Yeah.
So that's why, state policy, the state government, the city government can screw everything up and people still want to live here.
Yeah, it takes a lot to push people out for sure. 100%.
Dude, it's really become a cesspool. I have to say, this is nothing political. It is crazy. And I'm talking about Beverly Hills during the day. Nighttime is a little better. Cops kind of are good in Beverly Hills, but there's no tents or anything. But it is still like, I would not want to be a woman walking the streets, even in broad daylight.
Well, that is bad.
Don't say anything.
I'm not saying anything. What? I'm just sitting here listening.
Guys, the phone number is 888-659-3727. This is the Hair Loss Show. Been doing this program for quite a long time in some iteration or another. And I was going through some old videos, Joe, like kind of when you came on board, stuff from the GFQ network. It's just, we talked about it briefly last week, but it is just wild. First of all, I think what the beautiful thing about this broadcast, it's the same damn broadcast every week, except for different, it's the callers that make the show, basically.
It's the great thing and the terrible thing is it's the same damn show every week.
Well, for me, I like it. Listen, if you want to become a big podcaster, then my advice to you would be, well, I'm not going to give out that advice because someone will steal it. But
exactly,
doing something live like this and giving people the opportunity to speak their mind, to ask their questions, to vent, to provide their, agony and their triumphs. That's not the program to take off to get the eyeballs.
Yeah,
that's it. But I enjoy it. The more that I think about it, sometimes I get frustrated because I know how many more people we could help. But then I'm like, God, it still serves so many people every month.
Yeah.
It really does. I mean, it's really, I'm trying to have a different, like a buddy of mine, I told you last week, a buddy of mine just dropped dead from high school. And you're putting your life, you're thinking about your life, and I'm thinking about hanging out with this kid and the crazy shit that we did as kids. I mean, it was we were just crazy kids, man. I can't even believe it when I think about it. The fact that I'm alive it's remarkable. But I think about certain frustrations that I've had in this field.
Of which there are many.
But the fact that I even was concerned about them or, for instance, this broadcast, the fact that, I would love it to have, 50,000 views on this broadcast every week. But when I recognize what we've been able to accomplish and you see it used to be letters, but all the emails that come through our different resources and just the guys that are I was just in contact with a guy. I spoke about him last week, so I'm not going to repeat the story. But, he's just so grateful that I took the time and that he has the program. He's been listening for 10 years. We've done some real good here, Joe.
I know. I was thinking about that too with some of the calls we had last week. And you got some great clips to repost on that, like the bald grandma. That was that was gold.
Listen, I didn't mean to.
That was gold.
For some reason, the little kid in me laughed because, listen, there's a lot of... My mother, let her rest in peace, basically was bald by when she died. A lot of it was medication. But
still,
this is a real thing. But, you got to have a little bit of a sense of humor about things.
But the context of it, the way you presented it, is just a surface level thing to get people, it was just to get people's attention. That's all it was for.
It was kind of like, dude, if your grandmother's bald, you may not be a candidate for hair transplant surgery.
And that's not wrong.
Yeah.
It's a little bit comedy with truth.
Yeah.
to get the point across, to get the eyeballs. And bravo. I thought that was a great little clip to put up there. But it's funny you're talking about this, and I'm thinking about some of the calls. Like last week was, as far as calls go, one of the better shows we've had in a while. Just consistently great questions.
We have a full board right now, which is great.
Yeah, and we'll get to them in just a second. But speaking of people dropping dead, and may your friend rest in peace. I don't know if you saw this, but there was someone I was critical of on YouTube that just passed away at the age of 32.
You mean the guy that we had to kick?
Yes, him, Connor Murphy,
Dr. Rocha off of our collective
respective
platforms because he was willing to do a hair transplant on Connor Murphy while Connor was trying to meditate through the pain. I mean,
vaguely speaking, yes.
Yeah. I still can't believe that, man.
Yeah, I know. But may he rest in peace.
Let him rest in peace.
He was a from what I saw, he was a troubled individual just based on some of the shock stuff that he was doing on YouTube.
It looks like he really began losing it like the last 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, I'd say you're correct. But your mention just kind of reminded me of that as well. So may he rest in peace. And what else? I wanted to, I don't know if you noticed the title of the show today. The hair loss struggle is real, and the thumbnail I designed with the guy with a full head of hair looking in the mirror and seeing himself bald.
That's me.
That's you. That's me when I was younger. That's the way Tom Gilbanks was when he still had decent hair, but he was obviously losing. And as we're talking about before we went on air today, damned if he didn't turn that around.
That is the fucking comeback of the century, yo.
Yeah.
But I look at this kid from where he was.
The struggle's real.
I mean, the quality of his hair at the age of 22 or 23. I mean, look, he knew he was losing it. I'm sure other people noticed it in his life to some degree. He wasn't getting like it didn't seem to an outsider, it may not have seemed that significant. And people would be like, well, you're getting older, your hair's thinning. No, you're going bald. And he caught it in time.
Yeah.
And he took charge of it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the key. And, and looking at him and the way that
he's so lucky.
The way that he dealt with it, it reminds me of a debate I was in on Reddit. I mentioned it to you just briefly before we came on the
guys, hold on. After Joe is finished pontificating, we'll take your calls.
There was a kid that had 23 years old. He presented his case saying, I won't name the doctor where he went. I'm sure it's fine work. That nothing against the quality of the work, but his question was, is my hairline imbalanced? And the doctor offered to do another X number of grafts to level it out before I leave, because he had to travel for the surgery. And I'm looking at it, and he's showing a before image where he's pulling his hair back in the corner. I'm thinking, I know who this doctor is. They do good work. Why would they actually do this case to begin with? Because this kid, he was like Tom now.
Really?
He was like Tom Gilbanks now after his recovery of his hairline and everything. And he was concerned about a little bit of thinning right on him. It was like just pointing out like right here. They rebuilt his temple points that were already fully established. They used 3,000 grafts via FUE just in the frontal third or fourth of his scalp. And I made the comment, what's done is done. Good for you. You're on medication. But anyone else looking at this is exactly what not to do when you notice hair loss. And I thought it was funny, because funny, not haha, but funny, like odd, that this 23-year-old came out swinging against me. I've been on medication for years. And my first thought is, you don't even know what years means. You're 23.
Yeah.
What? And of course he had his supporters that were, all these old people talking about how, you need to worry about your 40s and 50s when we want it now when we're in our 20s so we can live our 20s. It's like the shit never ends.
It's not going
just
to end.
It comes in cycles, actually, it seems, where for a while there's like a group that realizes, okay, yeah, that's actually a sensible route to take after they learn better. But then here comes the next wave of young guys. Well, I need it now while it's important. Once I'm in my 30s, it won't matter. Fuck. It's like,
how do you think I'm able to do this?
The average patient is over 30. So what do you mean you're not going to worry about it? You're going to worry about it more in your 30s, especially if you're single, than you are in your 20s.
Well, they're going to worry about more if meds don't continue to work, if they had a premature hair transplant, if they don't have enough hair to utilize later in life. Yeah. Once they're cut and they realize, I saw this kid on, I think it was Instagram. He's a Spanish kid from New York. He's actually really entertaining. He went to Turkey. And again, it is what it is. The guy went to Turkey. So, I mean, anyone who gets upset when I mention the fact that people go to Turkey for hair transplants. It's a huge thing, okay? It's not my fault.
More now than ever. Yeah, more now than ever.
Went to Turkey, went in for the 5,000 or 6,000 graft transplant. Didn't work out. He's out there saying his hair transplant failed, whatever, but he's still out there online doing his thing. He decided to shave. He was like, I'm just going to live my life bald. He's got thousands of incredibly visible punctate wounds across the entirety of the back and sides of his scalp, all the way up to his crown. And I'm talking about, he didn't heal, like, slight hypertrophic. Did I say that word right? When you say a word sometimes and you think, did I say that right?
Yeah, you've been saying it for decades. And it's like, you say it no differently than before, but it's like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
You know exactly what you're talking about.
Basically, it looks like it's like kind of white braille on his head, which is not that uncommon. It happens.
Yeah.
He was not prepared for that. That's all I'm saying. He's a good-looking kid who, if he shaved his head prior to getting hair transplant, he would not have dealt with this.
Yeah.
And the only reason he decided to get this hair transplant is because of social media, because it is looked at now as a simple outpatient procedure, one size fits all. If you're dealing with hair loss, you can fix it. And you can't. You can't fix it. You cannot fix it. You're in this for life. Now, you could manage it. You could manage it pretty well. For a lot of guys can manage it with drugs and surgery combined and utilizing, going to the right clinics with the right surgeons who are able to really utilize your grafts properly.
Mm-hmm.
Help you manage your donor properly, who sets you up for the reality that you're in it for life. But that's not what's being sold anymore.
No, it's a quick fix. Oh, he was also convinced that it's his only surgery because he researched his stack, his dutasteride and minoxidil, and he didn't even consider the fact that there's a difference between generics and name brand, and that whole line of thought opened up before his confident little mind. And I think maybe I might have gotten through to him because he didn't reply on that one. We'll see.
Well, listen, I want these guys to be confident and to do well and feel like they've made. There's nothing worse than thinking you've fucked up.
Of course,
like it's already done.
Yeah,
and there's also, I don't know. I fully understand it. I try not to get into these arguments or these discussions with these kids. To me, it's like, again, once they're cut, they're cut. It's like, good luck. And if these kids ask me questions, sometimes I just can't answer them. Because if I tell them the truth completely, if I'm completely candid with them, it could screw them up for a couple of years unnecessarily. Eventually, they're going to find out they fucked up. I don't have to tell them.
The way I look at it sometimes is they chose to put it out there in the public, and when I'm addressing these things, it's not for them; it's for everyone else reading it.
I agree with that as well. I think what you do is you do a great service for people. I just realized, no matter how hard I've tried over the years, it's a pain in the ass. I don't want to go out there and have to battle it out online with these stupid kids. They have the opportunity to listen to me, to listen to you, or not. At this point, I don't give a shit. Let the people who are smart enough to step back and think, well, maybe these guys know something. There's a reason they're doing. They're saying this. Let me continue to do my research.
Yeah. The challenge becomes when it's a pile-on, when it's like 3 or 4 people coming in. Oh, this boomer. I'm not even a boomer. It's like,
you're Gen X.
I'm Gen X, but it's that kind of thing. It's like the pile-on of I'm basing my opinion on old info.
Well, I understand the confirmation bias. He already went through the situation.
Of course.
They're reading a lot of stuff online, which is quasi-accurate. I mean, there's some truth to what they're reading online as far as certain stacks and possibilities. But it's a gamble that most guys will lose.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and his comeback was, well, if I continue to lose, then I'll just chuck a piece behind my hairline.
Yeah, you may not. The hair that was placed in your hairline may be the hair that's like the least DHT resistant, and if you don't respond well to meds, you're screwed. You'll have no hairline, or you might be left with scar tissue in your hairline.
Yeah. Anyway, it was an interesting throwback to the Jotronic days of old, where I was, beating him down with facts. But I backed off because I don't have time to do that really. But it's just a reminder of the new wave of naive kids going through getting these surgeries because they're being pushed as a quick fix, and it's
again sad. In my wildest dreams, there's no way I would have believed if you told me this when I was 29 or 30, whenever this thing started, that I would be doing this at 61. I'd be like, what, are you crazy? Everyone's going to be educated. I'm getting the information out there. The ball truth is going to be like the Bible. It's going to be in everyone's home. And, we sold a lot of books, thank goodness, in a lot of people in different languages. And we were a bestseller in Turkey, of all places, which is really ironic. That is the irony of a lifetime.
It is.
But it doesn't matter. Hundreds of thousands of people wake up for the first time. They go online, they see the nonsense, they fall into the traps, and then eventually some of them find us. This is evergreen, man. I hate to say it. Mm-hmm. It never ends. I'll be able to do this from the nursing home.
You probably will.
I may.
And a few years later, I'll be right there with you. we'll be in our rolling recliners. Next call, please.
At this point, hopefully I could still pull off the comb over. Guys, 888-659-3727. Let's take a phone call. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hello.
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 Hello, it is Sebastian from England again.
Hey, Seb,
hello,
what's
Sebastian.
Going on?
How are we doing, guys?
All right. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, thank you.
That was a great call. That was a great call, man. I used a clip of it.
I was listening to your intro just now.
I hope you didn't think I was making fun of your bald grandmother, because I wasn't.
No, I was laughing. Honestly, it's and I thought to myself, my youngest daughter, she's just turned 1, and she's like a Norwood 4V with a bit of retrograde. So it's not looking good. It's not looking good for any of us.
God bless her.
No, she doesn't seem to care.
She's not bothered yet.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
But no. It's, you know what? I've been watching some of the older episodes, and I'm just amazed with the amount of information you guys have available. And so just a massive thanks to both of you for putting this together. for sticking with it for this long, and also a big shout out to the chat and to the callers as well, because everyone who contributes, it's adding something new to the conversation, and it's giving a different perspective. And it really, I think it shows that it's an all-encompassing situation that we're facing. So I think that's really good.
Listen, we are essentially reaching the largest demographic of humankind.
Give this guy his own intro from now on.
We can. And, 2/3 of men by the age of 35 will have some degree of noticeable hair loss, meaning that it's already changed their appearance.
Yeah.
It's significant. Now, that doesn't seem that young, but you got guys, about 20% of guys before the age of 20 will have significant hair loss. That's, and you were one of them.
Yeah. And, after the phone call last week, I listened to the whole rest of the show. And it was really, really, really entertaining and good to listen to. And I thought to myself, when the show ended, I thought, you know what? I've been balding for nearly half of my entire life. I'm 30 years old now. Noticed it at 16, like I said. And as we all know, I was probably balding at 14 and didn't even realize until you see it and feel it at 16. So I thought to myself, this has been a big part of my life. And a lot of the time I've spent sort of ignoring it, pretending it's fine. And but when I think about it, it's really been a massive, massive part of my life. And with that, I do have some stories and some things that I've noticed over the years. And one of them is, more recently, I realized I've made a terrible mistake. I've made my friend go bald.
How'd you do that?
Unintentionally. So it was 2018, and so me and this mate of mine, we've gone to school together. We've known each other since we're about 8 years old, 9 sort of years old. Our dads worked together, and we went to primary school, primary school, secondary school, all of it, all the way through up to sort of college years.
So that's like that's like grammar school and junior high school, right?
All the way up, yeah. And I noticed when we were both about 15, 16, we're both balding. We are actually receding at a similar pace, and we never really talked about it, but we kind of knew. And I think when we got a bit older, we sort of, it's going up. Yeah, I'm getting a widow's peak, this, that, the other. And it's happening. And I remember so I didn't see him, but see him on and off. You all go your separate ways. You got jobs and you move out. You get a flat somewhere, and you don't really see each other. But then occasionally throughout the year, you sort of you come back together. And I saw him one time. It's like I say around 2018, and I knew up until that point he was shaving his head. So he actually progressed a little bit faster than me, and he said, "You know what? I'm shaving it," and it looked pretty good. But one day I saw him, and he'd gone from maybe a Norwood 4, Norwood 5. He'd gone to like a Norwood 3 or even a 2. And it grew back his hair, and it was thick on top. And oddly enough, it had gone, I don't know why, but it had gone ginger. And he's actually more like a dark blonde, but it had changed colour slightly, but it had thickened up. And I said, "Oh my God," I said, "What have you done?" And he says, "Oh, I'm on that Propecia." And I said, "What?" He said, yeah, it's just a pill. I've just been taking this pill a day. I've been on it for about a year. I couldn't believe it, honestly. I looked at his head. I said, "That is amazing." So I went home. I looked it up, and I actually ordered some. I forgot about this, but I did. I ordered.
Did you not tell me that you told him about the side effect and he stopped?
I was going to say, I was waiting for that.
Oh my God. So I've got this supply, and I started taking it. I took it for maybe a week. And around that time, this is before my current relationship, I was dating a girl who she had younger children. She had a younger daughter herself. And one day I was just bored, and I opened up a leaflet inside this Finasteride box, and I started to read it. and it said stuff about fetal malformation and pill powder, crushing the pills. The powder can be dangerous to lactating mothers, and I went further down, and it said it can, and I started to Google it. Oh, it can come out in your sweat, and then it can go into the mother's breast milk, and then it can.
Wait a second. It can come out in your sweat?
I've never heard that one.
Well, I think Google was, what do they say? It was the early days of sort of the AI kind of responses from Google, and I think it was hallucinating. So the AI was sort of, oh yeah, it can come out in your sweat. I don't think that's a thing, but it just said
No,
it,
it's
and I
not
read
a
it,
thing
and I thought,
that I'm aware of. No, that's frightening.
no. It said bodily fluid can come out in your tears, like your sweat glands, and I thought, oh my god. So the next time I spoke to him, he says, oh, are you taking that thing that I told you about? I said, well, I said, no, man. I said, I've had to stop because of all of these side effects. And oh my, looking back, I'm thinking, oh my, I feel bad. I feel bad about this. I really do.
So let me stop you for a second. So he was just taking the pill. I guess his doctor prescribed it, and he just was like, went on his merry way. Didn't read about the side effects. Didn't Google it. Wasn't obsessed about this, and he was living his best life.
Yes.
And you fucked that all up for him.
And then Sebastian comes along. throws a monkey wrench in his operation.
But Sebastian, I'm going to let you finish the story, but you do realize that this is a prime example of the mass hysteria effect that has essentially taken over the online hair loss community.
Yeah, I was so ignorant, and it was destructive. And to be honest with you, at the time, I really thought I was looking out for him.
Of course.
He was dating a girl that we both knew from secondary school. Obviously, we're all a bit older at this point, and I think she lived with her older sister, who had just had a baby boy. And he subsequently he lived across the road, so he'd spend a lot of time. He'd go over, he'd see her, he'd see the sister and the baby lad. And I said to him, I said, look, you've got to. This is dangerous. This can get out your sweat, and then if you're holding the lad, it can affect his development. Oh, and I told him all of the things. And to be fair, he said, oh yeah, he said, oh, I didn't know that, and he left it. And I never really spoke about it again. Never really mentioned it. And then what's happened is years later.
Yeah.
He's now.
There we go.
He has progressed to, from what I can tell, we're looking for Norwood 6. Sorry, 5 or 6 level of Norwood. He's shaved his head completely, and you know what? He's like a semi-professional boxer as well. And I daren't tell him. I daren't tell him what I've done. I stopped him taking repeat. He will.
Well, Seb, I have a surprise for you. We have someone on the line who wants to talk to you.
Oh my god! Oh my god! But no. Like I said, he's a good friend of mine, and I don't think he's too fussed about it. You know, his dad went bald quite early, and it doesn't seem too bothered. But I do. Part of me thinks, oh god,
I would be pissed. I would be pissed.
So you gave him a mind virus.
I thought to myself before I called in. I thought to myself, you know, if I met him and he saw what's going on with my head now, I'm gonna have to tell him it's a wig. It's a system. It's the system. Say you grew your hair back. I say no. It's a system. It's got it's blue and
how'd your hair come back? Sideways. It wasn't from Propecia.
Yes.
Sweet Jesus. So how old was he when you essentially destroyed his life?
Oh my God. We just turned 20, sort of 21, I think, at the time.
Oh my God, the worst time.
Yeah. So it's accelerating. It's the loss is accelerating at around that time. It's for early starters, I suppose. But no, I just thought, I've been watching I've been sort of rewatching your older episodes, and I thought I've listened to all these stories and questions and worries that people have, and I thought to myself, you know what? I've never heard of someone stopping their best mate from taking Propecia accidentally, and then their mate going completely bald, and the person who did it is now taking it and having great success.
That is a wild story, man. But it really does highlight this mass hysteria. I talk about this all the time. People don't want to hear it. And I would hope that, I hate to even say mainstream media, the legacy or old media would essentially pick up on this truth but they don't want to pick up on this truth because they need the clicks. They would much rather demonize this medication. But the truth is, from 1992 until about 2006, I actually started to see it around 2003, I think, to some degree. But these insane side effects that people are talking about, the brain, whether it's the mental side effects, depression, brain fog, stuff like that, but especially the permanent adverse sexual side effects, the post-finasteride syndrome, it didn't exist, essentially. There was a small handful, and I heard about it, in my research initially, that there were like 2 or 3, I think, people who were in the original trials out of, I don't know, 1,800, 1,500, I forget, who thought they may have been dealing with, continued side effects once they stopped the medication. There was no follow-up for these guys, but it was still a relatively small percentage. But anyway, none of this existed. And everyone's going to say, well, the internet was still in its infancy. There weren't a lot of people online. That's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
There were message forums that had 50,000 users. And most of them were taking Propecia. You didn't hear about this stuff. So anyway, there's definitely a mass hysteria effect. I can't blame you for ruining this guy's hair life.
Oh my God, I feel so bad. It's too late. Maybe it's not too late, but it's not my place. I don't feel like I've done enough. I've done enough damage.
Dude, just one night, just get loaded, pick up the phone and say, listen, buddy. I mean, did you confess this in church at least? Did you get it off your chest?
You guys are the first to hear of it.
Okay.
I've told nobody. I've just remembered it the other day. I thought, oh no.
Well, I got it. Do 7 Hail Marys, and what do these you guys do in the Catholic religion? Because we don't get forgiven. You guys get forgiven.
7 Hail Marys and clean your bedroom. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this guy, he's a semi-pro boxer. He's built like Joe Rogan. He's Italian. He's stocky and he's broad. And
he probably looks good with his shaved head anyway. So, but still,
exactly.
He does.
But being Italian, he worships his hair, and you just destroyed that for him. So here's what you say. All right, here's how you can get out of it. Here's how you can get out of it. You say, look, mate, remember back in 2018, I was telling you about the side effects that happen because Propecia sweats out of your body and causes kids to have 3 legs and 4 eyes. Well, I found out how to get around that. Someone just told me yesterday, so I wanted to tell you as soon as possible.
Okay.
You take the pill and you cut it in half, and you take both halves together, like you normally would if it was one pill. And cutting it in half actually eliminates those side effects. There you go. See?
That might work.
I don't understand what you just said, Joe, but
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because as long as it's an alternative that still gets this guy to maybe get back on Propecia and save his hair, then Sebastian's a goddamn hero.
Well, Sebastian may have actually saved this guy from a lifetime of having to take medication.
This is true.
The fact that he's able to just move on with his life, and he's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna get off this shit. And he's healthy, and he shaves his head, and he lives his life. I mean, that's a win. So,
and I think, guys, the last thing I'll say tonight is, for me, well, I say tonight for myself, it's a bit late, but I was worried. I was worried about side effects when I first started my treatment. It'll be 5 months ago now. My actual stick to it treatment, and I had your classic concerns, but one of my main concerns was strength in the gym.
Hold on for a second.
I was really worried about it.
Hold on for a second. I have to chastise Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Your iMessage is connected to your main computer, and anytime someone texts you, that shit rings.
Yeah.
Can you figure it out, please? Go ahead, Seb.
I have 3 Mac items here. And it's like trying to turn them all off. Anyway, go ahead.
No, no. I was just going to say, like I say, I was a bit concerned about side effects myself, and I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go, whatever. But my main concern after the initial, the main side effects that people talk about, I had none of them at all. My main concern after that was strength in the gym, and I can honestly say, if anybody's listening and you're thinking about it, or you're about to tell your mate to stop taking it, I'm going to tell you now. Not only did I not have any side effects, the strength in the gym was not affected at all. Just nothing at all. Energy levels, strength, nothing. Nothing was affected. Which
Some
I
people
thought
reported that
was
it
quite
actually
interesting.
increases the that once they start taking Propecia, it's almost like it has an androgenic effect, like they're taking something
Yeah.
to actually increase the strength.
Well,
I feel like
I've
got
heard
a little
that
bit more
countless
energy.
times.
I can tell you,
Yeah.
I've been on it for
Yeah.
well over 30 years, and I was recently had some pretty significant injuries with my tendons, like full body tendinopathy, which I've been doing rehab for, and now I'm kind of back to strength training. Not where I was, but it's interesting. When you lay off for a while, you're not able to do much, and then when you get back into it, I mean, your body just, I mean, your muscles just bounce back so quickly, even at my age.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can tell you that. And I'm not saying that I'm like some bodybuilder by any means, but in general, like when I see a physician or whatever, I mean, they can't fully grasp how I've been able to kind of maintain my body composition after all these years. And, you know, I tell them, you know, that I'm on finasteride, and I kind of think that may be part of it. I think that it may have
There's some
helped me
ideas
over
of
the years.
DHT. There's some ideas of DHT having an inflammatory effect on the joints. There's all sorts of conversations about what things do and don't do. But I have heard that testosterone is primarily responsible for muscle composition, and DHT is a bit of it's less indicated in that area. That's something I've heard anyway.
Look, I've read it
but
all. I don't have. Listen, I can't give you exact information on this stuff because the reality is that there's still a lot of hearsay out there, and they still haven't figured everything out. And yeah, I've heard of, you know, joint inflammation, not necessarily tendon issues. I think I was affected by a different medication over the years, an antibiotic. But I will say that every person in my personal life who's been on this drug for over a decade, and most of my friends have been on it for over 20 years, they're in good. They look young. They look youthful. And I think it's more than their hair. It's something about their body composition and their skin. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on, really.
Yeah. Well, brilliant as always, guys. Just wanted to share that with you. I've got many more, but there you go. It's a bit of a wacky tale.
Seb, that's a great story, man.
It really is.
I appreciate the call.
Oh God. Yeah, no worries. Well, I'll continue to listen, and have a great rest of your day, guys, and appreciate the show.
And let us know if you ever decide to confess to your friend.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I'll give you guys an update on that. I'm going to have to say something, I think.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right. Good luck. Nice knowing you.
888-659-3727. I understand he's trying to help his friend out.
Of course.
I would have just been like, I wouldn't have said, I may have said something like, just be careful, you know, learn more about this. You're doing well on it. Not like, man, this is poison. You cannot be around children with this.
People are dropping dead.
It comes out in your pores.
You cry it out.
Yeah.
This is your tears. Oh my God.
What a world. Let's see what this is. Oh, Jesus. Let's see. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Yes, hello there. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, Spencer, how are you doing? My name is Sohaib, and I've been on treatment for almost 8 to 9 months now on oral finasteride and low-dose oral minoxidil, and I made some great progress I wanted to share through the live stream.
I'm happy for you, brother. How old are you?
I am 20 years old, and I started 9 months ago, but I'm 20 years old, slight thinning on the scalp, but my frontal is like perfect, intact.
Okay, that's great. So tell us your
Absolutely.
story. When did you start to notice your hair loss? What made you get on medication?
I noticed since 18 years old, like slight thinning on the scalp. I started with a topical minoxidil. Didn't see any benefits from that because people always said on the TikTok and on Instagram, "Oh, you got to do minoxidil," and then they're fear mongering about oral finasteride.
You do know that, and I'm just putting this out there, but the vast majority of people on TikTok and Instagram are idiots, right?
I know that. So I learned it the hard way. Like
Yeah.
they started like treatment like a year later. But I'm maintaining my hair, and my scalp is like 70 to 80% regrown.
That's amazing.
What I had.
And no adverse effects, right?
No, like they said that it's gonna affect your libido, but honestly, after starting oral finasteride, I think my libido went up actually for some reason.
That's not uncommon. It actually happens. What's interesting is, during trials, it was something like, it was actually less than 2% of guys during the clinical trials suffered from lower libido, adverse sexual side effects, compared to 1.5% of the placebo group. So it's basically about a 0.5 differential. But what they don't tell you is 10% of the guys in those trials actually had an increase in sexual drive. And for whatever reason, and maybe it's because, I don't know if it was the FDA or if I don't know why Merck chose not to put it out there.
I'm pretty sure that
Hold on.
increases your free testosterone level.
I'm trying to, is that your car? You just get out of your car?
I'm doing a live stream from my car.
You're doing a live stream from your car?
Yes, sir.
So you're streaming this call?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't mind, but you should have told us. So where are you streaming it?
I'm streaming it on my YouTube channel. It's called Zohaib's Hair Loss Journey. I started like a few months back to help like people my age not fear the medication and save their hair.
All right. And listen, it's not a problem, but in normal circumstances, you're going to want to tell people when you're streaming anything live.
Absolutely. I understand.
That's an interesting development. Yeah. So you're calling into our show so you can live stream our conversation on your channel. Is that right?
Is that fine with you?
I don't mind it. Joe seems a little perturbed.
Well, I'd like to be informed of this when it starts.
I understand.
Just because,
okay, I can cancel it if you like me to.
No, I'm not asking you to cancel it. It's just next time, and I hope you do call in again because we like helping people. Please let us know ahead of time, or like when you first call, say, "Hey guys,
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, fair enough."
But besides that, if you have a big channel, that's great. I don't give a shit. Joe's the one who's all upset. I can see it in his face.
No, I just want to know. I just want to know these things.
All right.
But listen, but I'm
really courtesy among streamers.
It is professional courtesy, but I really am glad that you're doing well. And so, what prompted you besides going through TikTok and Instagram to get on the medication? Why were you unafraid while so many of your contemporaries are so shit scared?
That's a good question.
Could you say that question again? I couldn't hear you.
So why were you unafraid to take finasteride and to get on low-dose oral minoxidil when so many of your contemporaries are so shit scared of it?
I did my research on it, and I saw that only 2 to 3% of guys actually get adverse side effects. So I'm a young guy. I'm 20 years old. I'm healthy. Why not give it a try? Because I went bald just for fun over the summer, and man, going bald doesn't look good on my head, man. So I would rather have hair than going bald. That's what I've been
struggling with this for 40 years, man. So, I would rather have hair than go bald as well. And that's why I got myself on medication. I wish I was able to get on it as young as you, though. I started to notice my hair loss around 21. These options did not exist.
I'm very fortunate, actually, because I'm only 20 years old. I'm turning 21 in a few months. like my doctor told me, man, you catch it just on time, on the perfect timing. It's like winning
Good
a
for you.
lottery, pretty much.
Yeah.
100%. Well, I'm glad that you're doing well. You're not having any adverse side effects. You're healthy. It's working for you.
Absolutely.
So what's your next step? You just
My older brother, who's like 5 years older than me, he's not on the medication or any of that, and he has like he's a Norwood 6 on the scalp. Like the front is
Oh my
fine, but the scalp is like super bad. So I was like, man, if I never get on medication, I'll have like a see-through scalp by 25 or 30 years of age.
well, now that he sees that you're on the
Yeah.
medication, what does he think of it?
Oh, I got him on the medication like 2 months ago,
Okay.
and he told me no
Okay.
side effects, and
Good.
he is waiting for regrowth. But I told him it takes almost 6 months to see like a little bit of regrowth. It
Well
takes
said.
almost, I would say, a year or longer to see like full benefits of this.
I mean, the key is, and as you know, you're going through this and you have your own channel now. I mean, the reality is some guys will see a cessation of hair loss within 3 months. I was one of those guys. But actually seeing things change, things thicken up, miniaturization, reversing, that could take, some guys don't see it for a year. They don't notice it for, I mean, and especially if you have a significant amount of loss, it's difficult to see. So yeah, your brother has to wait at least a year, maybe 2 years. Who's yelling at you, man?
No, I agree. And surprisingly, my father, he's almost 60 years old, and he has a full set of hair. But my father's brothers all went bald by 30.
Yeah.
So I'm like a little bit surprised if genetics play a part or what.
It is
because
genetics,
my
but
father has
that
a full set of
gene,
hair.
luckily for your father, did not affect your dad, and that happens. So
Absolutely.
I've known
My mother's side, my uncle from my mother's side had thinning on the scalp at 25, but his frontal still is intact at 50, but his like scalp is like horrible.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, if you're able to maintain the framing of your face, it's probably better. It's unusual for men, but those guys who have more of a diffuse pattern or have the ability, they kind of maintain the integrity of their hairline, they're candidates for a lot of, hair replacement. It kind of makes it easier for them. So if you wanted to wear a piece, if you decided to get on medication, if you decide to get a hair transplant, things could
Absolutely.
be good. But anyway, brother, listen, I appreciate the call. I'm really glad that you're doing well. Good luck with your stream, all right?
Thank you. One more thing I would like to mention to you guys before I go. I have one thing I want to mention, and then one question I'd like to ask you. Well, the question is, I'm taking a generic finasteride, and I remember you made a video that generic finasteride is not like 100% effective all the time. So my question is, Spencer, should I take oral Propecia instead of
No.
a generic?
And again, we're not physicians. And the thing is, you have to be in the right generic. Not all generics are created equal. Apparently, you're taking the right medication. So just make sure that you know the brand of that generic and do your best to ensure that it's not being switched out on you by your pharmacy. If you see a different medication being, in your prescription bottle, ask the pharmacy if they can get you the actual brand that you were using.
I'm using Chambers Pharmacy. That was the name of it. Are you familiar with them?
It's not about it's not about the name of the pharmacy. It's the name of the generic.
Unless they're compounding
finasteride.
it.
Yeah, unless they're compounding it. Is it compounded or are they pills?
It's compounded.
It's compounded.
Okay.
All right. Well, so that makes it a little bit more difficult to ensure consistency. But you could always ask them, say, look, let me know if you ever change your source of finasteride, because currently what you're giving me is working, and I would like to stay on it.
I see. All right. And let me tell you one more thing, actually. So have you ever heard of a company called Zion Health? They specialize, I believe, in topical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What do you want to know? I know
I
everything
would
about
say
them.
to a lot of people, yeah. So I want to like tell my experience because I've been on them since I was 19. Topical usually doesn't work for most people, and I was one of the people that used the topical finasteride and topical minoxidil. And from my honest opinion, I just think it's a total waste of time because I didn't see any regrowth after like a year of using it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And
that
I did
happens.
research that 60% of men cannot even absorb topical products to begin with. So my advice would be to anyone, start with low dose oral finasteride and work your way up. That's what I did. I started with 0.5 milligram for 3 months, and then my dermatologist got me up to 1 milligram, and that worked the best for me.
Well, you do know that the reason these products were developed was because of the mass hysteria that was, essentially post-finasteride syndrome, and just
Mm-hmm.
everything that you read online, everything that we saw on social media. So some of the more entrepreneurial physicians out there decided to put together and to have these topicals compounded. Now, with that said, I have known guys who have had adverse side effects from oral medication who then went on these topicals and had some response. In some cases, the response was pretty profound. So I think that it can
Oh, wow.
work. Yeah, I definitely think that it can work. However, I'm a fan of what you said as far as, to me, you titrate on these medications. There's a chance of adverse side effects from topicals as well. So starting
Absolutely.
small orally may be kind of the best way to go about things. But I'm not a doctor.
And
Joe?
be consistent. And being consistent is number one as well. Being consistent with oral, because it's so much easier to be consistent with oral medication than spraying foam on your hair every single day for years, for lifetime. It's pretty much a lifetime treatment if you think about it.
It is a
Well,
lifetime
it
treatment.
it absolutely is 100%. But let me tell you, so what you're talking about, the absorption or the efficacy of your experience using a topical, when it comes to Zion Health, I was actually in the office sitting down with the doctor that came up with the idea for Zion Health, Dr. Hassan, because I used to work there. I used to work for Dr. Hassan here in Vancouver, and I remember the day he actually asked me to come sit down because he wanted to talk and flesh out the idea, let me know what he was thinking. And I know the entire history of that company before it became actually Zion Health, and I was around for the precursor to Zion studies, and they weren't studies, but just observational notes that were taken with our patients, our hair restoration patients, or those that came in for consultation and didn't need surgery but needed the medication. They were given a prescription for a locally compounded topical that was the precursor for Zion. I'm not saying it's the exact same thing because I'm sure that they've changed some things since then, but it had the same consistency as Zion. It's a thick white. It's almost like Arm & Hammer toothpaste, which is my favorite toothpaste in the world, by the way. It's got this white appearance and it's kind of gritty to the touch, and it's thick. And I will go on record, even today, it is by far the single best hairstyling product I've ever used in my life, ever. It is so good as a hairstyling product. So that's the benefit that's right off the bat. But in the early days, we were seeing some results on patients that were astounding, that were as good as the best oral finasteride results we had ever seen. They weren't consistent, just like oral finasteride isn't consistent as far as the outcome. But that was supremely encouraging to see a topical formulation work as effectively as it did. With that said, there were instances back then of some patients having some side effects, showing that it wasn't being prevented from going systemic. Now, the entire idea of this type of product using liposomal delivery is that it prevents systemic absorption, and it isolates the medication around the follicle. So it keeps it at the surface level, so it can be absorbed by the follicles or absorbed by the tissue at the same level as the follicles for full benefit at that level or at that stage. That's not the case. I'm not saying it's not. I think it's greatly improved over other topical brands because of that. Maybe, I don't know, but you can get side effects from it, at least the early versions from it, and it has been like that specific product has been very effective for some patients. And if it wasn't effective, like they wouldn't even have their doors open, and they obviously do.
Absolutely.
Like they're growing. But in your situation, you're not alone. A lot of people don't have results from topical, but they do have results from the oral. Concurrently, there are those that have results from topical, but not from oral.
Absolutely. I think most men, I did a research one time, it says 60% of men don't have enough of the enzyme in their scalp to absorb topical, minoxidil, and topical treatment in general.
No, it would just be minoxidil. It has nothing to do with other topical treatments. Yeah. So so listen, brother, we're gonna go. How many people got on your live stream?
I just ended the live stream just now.
Okay.
But how many did you have?
I hope it worked out.
I had like close to 70 people on my live stream.
That's amazing, brother.
Good for you.
Absolutely.
Fuck.
Well, listen, I appreciate the call, man, and tell your fans to tune into the Bald Truth.
No, I'll do that. And one more thing before I go.
Hey,
I hate how the media pushes.
We got to go, brother. I appreciate the call, but we really got to go.
Okay.
All right, talk to you soon.
All right.
Call back next time.
Sounds good.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.
I don't know what you're doing wrong, Joe. 888-659-3727. Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Good morning, Spencer and Joe. It's Graham.
Good morning, Graham.
How are you?
Dude,
Graham's a man.
Clock is ticking, brother.
Tick tock, tick tock.
The clock is ticking. I'm on holidays. I'm ready to fly out on Tuesday. It's all happening.
How do you
Excited?
feel?
Am I excited? I'm very excited. I'm very calm, actually, at the same time. Of course, all of Spencer's clips over the last few months have been making me nervous, but I mean, he's been making me nervous for the last 10 years.
That's my job,
So
Graham.
it's not really any difference. But Spence said a good thing back in 2019 when I got my consultation at Hare Smith. He said, a transplant will always be there. And that's probably the best advice because it gave me more chance to listen to the show, listen to you guys. Things that I've heard you say, Joe, over the years, like I didn't know anything about microscopes and things like that and dissecting grafts and things. And it just built my knowledge.
Most people don't today either.
Yeah.
including doctors.
Yeah, I know.
And to take a page from Joe Tillman, microscopes wouldn't even exist in these practices if it wasn't for the Bald Truth.
Exactly.
Period.
I agree with you. I agree.
I appreciate you agree, but that's just the history of this field. There were 11 physicians in the world
historical fact
who were utilizing microscopes, and because of the financial pressure and the fact that I was out there on national radio back in the day saying, if these guys aren't using microscopes, they're butchers. Everyone started to use microscopes. But anyway, go ahead, Graham.
Yeah. It's just amazing. And what really, another thing that you guys have always said over the years, you hear so many people, like the young guy just called, he's using generic finasteride. It's working fantastic for him. You guys are always being, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And then all of a sudden they're thinking they should jump on the original. If everything's working for you, stay with it because hair loss is so temperamental. Anything can happen.
100%.
Even I'm taking all the finasteride I use, my Lonington over with me. I'm going to discuss it with the doctors. I know what works for me. I know they give you the medication they have, but why play with it? You know, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Do the minimum with it you can, I think, you know, with anything with medication.
Society in general, everywhere in the world, but, here in the U.S., there is this myth that these generic medications are all created equal. And pharmacists will fight you on this. People online will fight you on this. They are under the belief that the FDA is really inspecting these, these generic pharmacies, these, as they're being as vigilant as they were with the original FDA-approved drugs. What people have to understand is there's not a single generic medication that went through the same rigors for FDA approval as the actual medication or the name brand medication.
Yep.
They did not have to go through clinical trials, period. They have to meet some sort of a bioequivalency. And that is kind of it's a little wonky if you really look at what that means. So are there good generics? Yes. Most medications we take in this world, in our life, are going to be generic medications, unfortunately. But what's interesting about hair loss is you can definitely see the difference pretty immediately when you go from a generic that works to a generic that doesn't work, or a generic that may increase adverse side effects.
I agree 100%. I think I told you this story. It's not hair related, but I'm originally I'm a turf curator by trade, and my friend works at a racetrack. And how this adds into the picture of generics and things like that. A lot of the diseases that you would get in golf greens, you can buy turf related products, but a lot of those products are actually used on, say, grapevines and apples and things like that to do the same thing. But they're a quarter of the price because they're not used in turf. My friend told me they used it on their racetrack because some rep came in and said it's a quarter of the price, and the racetrack went yellow, even though the active was the same.
Sure, it's
so
interesting.
the fillers in it are different.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, 100%.
That's actually
100%.
a really interesting analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was, a rep came in, we'll sell you this product that you use on tomatoes and lettuce. It's the same active, but the fillers in it were different. So the actual racetrack went slightly yellow, where the products there for golf greens and racetracks, the quality registered products don't do that because the fillers and things like that are better quality.
I understand that.
That's a bit of a different thing. But, back to the going overseas and everything. Like I said, I would love to have done this in Australia. But, from day one, and Adrian will back me up on this, apart from Dr. Ruck, which has sort of popped up in the last, year or couple of years that I've seen, I wouldn't go to anyone here. And if anyone from Australia, surgeons listening, well, and they're thinking, let's see what happens to Graham in the future. Let's see what happens to Graham in the future. But
well, I have to be candid, and I think they know this. At least in my career, just like the UK, some of the worst surgeries I've ever seen have come out of Australia.
Yeah, there's some terrible ones.
Yep.
Some of the worst disasters, especially back in the day, came out of Australia. So, it is what it is.
Yeah. Is it about money for me? Of course, money comes into it. Like, I think you're a liar if you say because the price difference is huge. But it's not, I'm not going to discuss money on the show of how much this is costing, but it's not like it's cheap. And
Look,
Dr. Prima,
still not cheap.
The way that I see things is, if I'm able to get a Mercedes AMG for $55,000 as opposed to $155,000, and there's the exact same car, of course I'm going to get the $55,000 car. And that doesn't exist in our world, but there are some really great hair transplant surgeons who have great technicians who do incredible work, who are incredibly skilled and caring, who happen to be in other places of the world, around the world, and they're going to charge less. Now they're difficult to find, to be honest with you. There's only a handful, but they exist. So there's nothing wrong with it. If you're willing to travel, you want to save some money, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that
And
every
I'm
day,
staying-
thousands.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard about the show, you know, I'm not going to jump straight on a plane, come back the next day. I know I've heard all the calls. I know you say once pretty much they're in. That's if anything's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong. But I'm there to the 27th, and then with the family, we're going to fly to the Philippines. So I am in Bangkok for all that time. So if I have any problems, I'm going straight back there. I'm not jumping on a plane or anything stupid.
That's amazing. So you're there for a full week.
Yeah, I'm really going to. I want everything in my favor. I'm not going to rush around, do anything stupid, and it's. I don't want to make any mistakes that I regret.
Don't drink.
I'm going to try and do.
Obviously, you don't smoke, but don't drink. You know, during the healing process, even though you're away.
Avoid the nightlife.
It's going to be difficult to avoid sodium, but try to lower your carbs and try to stick more to, you know, I mean, it's going to be tough. There's a lot of noodles situations, but just really try to keep your carbs as low as possible during the healing process. You can really prevent a lot of swelling.
One thing I was going to ask Joe that, of course, they've been in contact with me, as you would think, all this week, basically, and I've been reading through everything. They say to cut out oral minoxidil, and I know it's obviously for the operation and everything like that. When you were back in the clinic, why, how, should I have cut it out now? Should I have cut it out a week ago? Or is it, or they basically want me on nothing?
The clinic usually, some clinics have different protocols, but usually they want you to stop taking it 2 weeks before your surgical date. Now, when it comes to oral, I don't know the difference in cessation requirements. Topical, they usually want sometimes 3 weeks because the alcohol, what's it called, the delivery alcohol
propylene glycol.
That's it. Propylene glycol. That really messes with the scalp tissue, and it changes. It's almost like it changes the physiology of your skin to where it's like gristle on a steak. It's difficult to work with. Not just the bleeding, the excessive bleeding, but also the texture can be difficult to make incisions in that will hold the graft properly. But when it comes to oral minoxidil, at least 2 weeks. But you need to talk to your clinic about this. Like this is general information just based on my experience, my past. This is a clinic that you're going to that I have nothing to do with, and I don't know their requirements. So follow their requirements to the letter.
Correct.
If you don't have anything in an email now, you contact them straight up, like when we hang up, and you message them and say,
yes. No, I've got everything. I've got everything. They've been extremely professional, so I haven't got not anything to worry about. But I thought you're the best person to ask, because I thought, is it a bleeding reason that they put you off it because it's originally a blood pressure medication? I wasn't sure what the reason was.
That's exactly the reason why.
But
that's the predominant reason why. So, some clinics, when it comes to the topical, they're a little bit more picky about the work area that they are going to have. So they will also cite because of the change in the physiology. Some clinics will say a month because of that, because it does take a while for things to return to normal. But 2 weeks minimum when it comes to topical. And then, like I said, with the oral, this clinic they may say a month. I don't know. You need to find that out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but apart from that, I'm actually quite calm. And, of course, the things go through your head, and you think, why the fuck am I doing this? But like I told you the last time, I've had such great response with medication. Side
Mhm.
effects, I'm not getting any side effects now or anything like that for years.
Listen, I think
It's
you're in a
something
great,
that I
I
want to
think
do
you
for
are
me.
one of the people who are in a great position to have this surgery.
One of
To
the best.
me, to
Yeah.
me, you are the ultimate candidate. You're not
100%.
young. You're not old either, but you're not young. You've gone from, dealing with hair loss from a young age. You suffered through all the emotional aspects of it, the entire roller coaster. You shaved your head. You lived that life. You somehow got through your life like that. And you developed, some sort of a comfort level. Then you decide to try meds just for the hell of it to see what happens. And you had an outstanding response. And you have a lot of donor. And you're in your 50s. So, I mean, you could walk
That's
away
the
with a
thing.
full head of hair after all these years.
That's the thing. It's a funny thing, but there really is. I feel like, I don't know, I'm sure you understand this, Spencer and Joe. It's like I've put all these years of knowledge into hair loss and worry and things over the years, and especially when I was younger, that I feel like, let's do something for yourself. I can understand where Morty come from, back in the day, when he got his transplant, and you said don't do it, but he looks great, Morty. Hello, Morty, how are you? Getting back, it's like it's something for me. I really know I'm in good hands. How good's the result going to be? Am I going to be happy with the result? I'm ready for the result to say, if 50% comes through, I'm ready for the result if 40% comes through. But if 80% comes through or something like that, I'm going to be over the moon. I'm smart enough to realize that I'm not the young kid that's sitting down in the chair and say, we'll get your fucking whole head of hair back, mate. You'll look $1 million. Like, I'm past that, and I realize that as long as I still got my health and everything's good and I'm not butchered, I'll be fine with it, So it's all for me.
Yeah. So, I mean, you are the perfect candidate for hair transplant surgery.
You waited, you got on the right meds, you had a phenomenal response, and you continue to wait even after having a phenomenal response. Quietly did your research, quietly bided your time until it felt right to pull the trigger.
And
after
you're
several
emotionally in the right place for this. You're not desperate.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I'm not desperate. Like, I look around, I look at other guys at work and things like that. And, I just, like I said, it's something for me. It's not about looking younger. It's just something I've put all this investment to. Let's see what happens. That's what it is.
Listen, I think it's great. And for anyone, I find it fascinating when these young guys are like, well, why are you're anti-hair transplant? Why are you so anti-hair transplant? I am not anti-hair transplant. I am pro well-executed hair transplant surgery for the right patient. That's it. I'm pro hair transplant for the right candidate.
It's just most people getting hair transplants now aren't the right candidates.
The vast majority of people in today's market, these young kids, should not have a hair transplant. They are taking a tremendous chance with their futures. And I'm talking about their near futures. I'm going to tell you, and I don't know if you have to go, Graham, but I have a brief anecdote here. There is
go ahead. I'm here for you guys. Okay. No, I said I'd call in, and I love what you've done for myself and everyone. I've been listening to the callers, and I know who has pulled the trigger over the years and the success they've got, and I've heard the failures. So now I'm here for you guys.
Well, there's a very well-known podcaster, UK based. I'm not going to mention his name. And he had what most people would consider to be a very successful hair transplant. It definitely improved his appearance, The clinic that he decided to go to framed his face very well. The hairline was not too low. The guy has very coarse hair, dark coarse hair with kind of like tannish skin. Worked out pretty well. Now, I'm able to see that it was reasonably executed. There's a lot of 2s and maybe some 3s in the hairline. There's some issues I can see where he's trying to, make the best of what was done. But he looks better for sure. I mean, it was a vast improvement, and I'm sure he feels much more confident. And he probably doesn't even know what went on. With that said, and this is a guy maybe in his 40s now, because he decided to get, and I'm sure this is what was sold to him, 100% FUE grafting, and it looks like he had a lot of grafts done. The transplant is already diminishing. And it's been like maybe 2 years, 2.5 years. So whatever hair was placed in the hairline, a percentage of that hair was not the most DHT resistant hair. And even if he is on medication, these clinics take a significant chance when they're just removing hair from all over the back and sides of the scalp and just looking for 1s and 2s or whatever, and it's placing wherever they don't necessarily put into the equation where the hair came from when they're putting the hair back into the recipient area. So this guy's definitely losing ground, and he's recently had the transplant, maybe 3 years. I'm sure he was thrilled, but there's no doubt that he's thinking to himself, what the F is going on? I thought I had this for life. So
do you know if he's on finasteride?
I do not know. I was thinking about reaching out to him. I'll see. And he's very well known. But, to me, and again, I don't know where he went, but to me, he probably didn't go to someone that we would all consider to be doing state-of-the-art hair transplant surgery. And that's why he's in the position that he's in today.
Not saying a thing.
Oh, so you know?
I will say this. Jimmy Carr publicly announced that the best hair transplant clinic in the world, after a heckler asked him out loud during a show, IHRS recognized clinic, the Maitland Clinic.
Yes.
I thought that was nice.
Yeah. Well, he's got a great result. He's super thrilled with it.
Yeah.
I'm glad we were able to help him. But this particular podcaster did not contact me or you, I'm sure.
No.
So, I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but it's just, this is the reality of hair transplant surgery today. And kids don't understand that. And this guy didn't understand that. You understand that, Graham. You're also having your crown done. You also had tremendous success on finasteride. It looks like you have a great well-preserved donor, probably partially from the medication. If not, you may have gotten a real boost from the medication. So you are in a great position where these other guys, they just don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, it's finasteride that's the lifesaver for me. Without that, it's gone. Like, I know that for a fact. And that's the reason I lost my crown, because I did stop it for years.
It was already gone. You brought it back.
Yes.
It was already gone. What are you talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So by the time I originally started finasteride, I think I was 29. But, I thought I had side effects, but like I told you in a years ago show, I did have underlying depression, and I had that treated. And all of a sudden, I decided to go back on. I tried the topical finasteride, no side effects. I said, gee, this is interesting, and I got great response. And then I thought, let's try finasteride again, the tablet, and I had no side effects. So my problem was coming from a different area where I was spooked by everything I read online too, But
yeah, and that's all too common.
I hung in there. Yeah, I hung in there. I didn't do anything stupid. I went out, I shaved my head, I did the things I did. And now, like I said, at 53, I'm in a good space. I know I'm stable. I know the reason if I stop finasteride, if I stop oral minoxidil, I know what's going to happen. And that's it. Let's see. It's all for me, you know.
Well, listen,
That's what it's
brother,
about.
we wish you the best of luck.
Safe trip.
Yes, safe trip, safe travels.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, I'm sure everything's going to go well. And, you know, keep us posted.
100%.
Yeah, I've even said to them, I want them to try and document as much, and I really want to be able to send a lot of stuff to you guys privately, so you know you can have a look at it, sort of thing, and see what your opinion is. And I'm open to it if it's not quite up to your standard, because I'm very OCD. I'm going to pick faults in things, you know. So and in anything, I can pick a fault in anything, you know. So
well, just know that when you send me the photos, if I reply in all caps, run,
OMG,
OMG, run, give it 10 minutes. I might calm down, and then you'll be okay.
Yeah,
just ignore it.
I will. But I am a bit disappointed. Adrian's not going to be sitting beside me on the plane chair, you know, because
what?
That's a bit disappointing. I know. He's my main man, Adrian. So
man,
yeah,
was he supposed to go with you?
Pardon?
Was he supposed to go with you?
Well, no, he wasn't supposed to go with me. He can't. He's flat out with work. So, but no, it would have been great if we could have went over, sort of thing, and
right, yeah,
had a laugh together and everything like that. But
dude, I should have gone. Maybe find my next wife.
Oh, mate, you'll find them there, mate. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a good trip. But it's not just the hair. It's I'm going to be with the family as well, and I've got like 5 weeks off from work, so it's all been planned out, you know. So as much as I can.
Good for you. Yeah, listen, sounds like you got your bases covered there. So good job.
Listen, Graham, you got your shit together. You know what you're doing. You've learned a lot. It sounds like you're in good hands. We wish you the best of luck. And, you know, if you have any questions, last minute questions, whatever it is, Joe's available 24/7.
I was waiting for
that. I will. And you're available 24/7 to scare the shit out of me. So that's pretty normal. So
all right, brother.
You're awesome.
Just look back at the archives.
I have to shout out to Reliance and Rob in the chat room, Adrian, of course, Morty, wherever you are, you're out there, mate. I know you are. And thanks for all the years of help, and I'll keep you updated.
All right, brother. Listen, good luck.
You're not going to the moon, okay?
Just
going
to... Thank you so much. Thank you for taking the call.
Take care. All right, brother.
Take care, buddy.
Guys.
Bye.
Cheers.
Not going to the moon. That was a good one. 888-659-3727. It's like he's getting his affairs in order.
I know. Our little boy's grown up.
Yeah.
He's grown up. He's going to go get it done.
Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? Yes?
Hello. Sorry, it's the first time I called through, so this is a bit weird. I'm Adam. I'm from England.
Hey, Adam.
Hello, Adam.
I've been watching your videos for a long time, many years, to be honest.
Wow.
So, yeah, my hair loss started when I've got to be quiet because it's really late here, but can you still hear me?
Yeah,
okay?
Sure.
Yeah, we hear you fine.
Started hair loss at about 20. I started on Finasteride and minoxidil. Did that for about a year. Then I went on to dutasteride after a year. With Finasteride, I got decent results, but you get like hair greed and then you move up. So I went on to dutasteride, and I've been on that for 6 years now, and it's worked pretty well for me. I mean, I'm probably like maybe Norwood 2 at worst.
That's great.
Yeah, I just thought I'd call through. I saw so my hairline's a little bit thin. So I was thinking about a transplant, but I saw Manny Mattel, because
Yeah.
Tillman, doesn't he? I saw videos of you and him, and
Oh, yeah.
he said I've got a good donor, and he said you could do it, but he said hold off for now because you're still young and stuff. But he said I've got about 10,000 grafts in the donor. But I agree with what he said, and I'm all right with what I've got for now, so I'm not going to do anything yet. But
Well,
How old are you?
I think that's great. So what are you now, 26?
26, yeah.
See how I do the math there, Joe? Because I listen to people
Yeah.
when they call.
I
I mean,
guess you do. Yeah.
Manny gave you great advice, and that's unusual because when you walk through a clinic's door, you're prime meat, brother.
Yeah.
It's unusual
meat.
that Dr. Manny Mattal gave you good advice. That's what it's
Not Manny.
about.
It's unusual that any doctor that you walk through in this
I didn't
this
say
field,
it, Doc. He did.
in this field would give you this advice. They would all perform surgery on you for the most part.
Yeah, I
Yes,
know,
that's true.
yeah.
So
No, he seems good, and
Oh, he's
I've
very
been
good.
researching for years I'm a bit obsessed with it, like you guys, you know.
Like,
But-
do
How
you
dare
think
you?
I would hop on a plane and fly all the way from Vancouver to London if he wasn't like at the top of his game?
No,
Like,
yeah.
of course he's good.
If I ever do a surgery, it'll be with him. But like with you guys, I'm gonna just wait as long as I can because you know I don't want to like jump in and then maybe 5 years I'm not that bothered anymore. So for now, I'm just gonna hold on.
Well, that's interesting that you say that
Yeah.
because he told you to hold off, and I think that's great,
Yeah.
and you're happy with the results you had from medication.
Well, when I went in and saw him, I wasn't going in thinking that because he said to me, he said, you don't seem desperate whatsoever to do it. And I just said, I just wanted to have a consultation. And he looked at my donor. He said, I've got no retrograde. And he said, I've got a really good donor. And so, yeah, I just wanted to see what he said, really. But I agreed with him that, hold off for as long as I can.
Well, there's something I think that's comforting in knowing that you currently would make a good candidate.
Yeah, that's why I went, because I was just wanted to get it so that if I in the future I'm desperate, you know what I mean? He would.
There's someone there to help you, and it's someone who's already been honest with you. So yeah,
that's the main reason why. Yeah.
It's good to have a relationship with a physician when you're dealing with hair loss in general.
Yeah,
this is a medical condition. So I'm glad that you found a good physician who is honest. That is so rare in the UK. There's maybe,
let's see,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, maybe 7 that I could think of throughout. I mean, and that we're talking about in the entirety of the United Kingdom.
Yeah,
it's pretty sad.
It's pathetic. That is one of the worst markets in the world.
It's weird, isn't it? Because UK is I thought we'd have a lot more, but we've just not got many good ones here, really.
No, you got a lot of.
It used to be zero.
Yeah, you got a lot of surgeons and a lot of clinics, but not a lot of good ones.
But not very good ones. Yeah.
So
the one thing I worry about though is the potential of them banning, because since I've been on dutasteride, I've been on it for 6 years, and it's worked really well. And I freak out still, worrying whenever there's something in the news about it. Do you know what I mean? I know that the European decided not to, but I still worry.
It's not going to happen.
No,
you don't think so?
No,
good.
No.
Because that's actually my main worry, really.
Well, you got to understand these are important. These are important, very effective medications for benign prostate hyperplasia. There's nothing out there that's been able to replace those medications that have given men significant relief from their symptoms for decades now.
Yeah.
So worst case scenario, you get it prescribed off-label, which in most of the world, that's where you're getting dutasteride prescribed off-label. So yeah, I don't see it happening. I never did. It's unfortunate that there are so many other. First of all, there are for instance, hormonal birth control that's being prescribed like candy to teenagers that we know are completely changing the entire chemistry, hormonal chemistry of young girls, we know it causes cancers. There's issues with strokes. There's issues with long-term sexual adverse side effects that we know are permanent to a much
Hair
greater.
loss.
Yeah, for some women are permanent, not for every woman. Hair loss. It is currently, at least in our field, known as the number one trigger for early onset female pattern baldness. Yet there's so many political issues around, a woman's right to choose what goes into her body, whatever. And I understand all that women aren't being fully informed, and the state and all of the policymakers are not getting involved, and they're getting involved in a drug like this. It's amazing to me. That has a much better safety record, a much better safety profile.
Yeah. I mean, in all the studies, because when I first looked into it, and I saw a GP about my hair, and they said, don't ever use Finasteride here. They said, we don't prescribe it on NHS, and we don't recommend it, whatever. So after that, I kind of thought, oh, no. But eventually I did start it, and I looked at a lot of the studies, and the side effects is low. It's like what it's like only a couple of percent. So I thought I'll just try it, and then I was fine.
And I'm gonna put this out there too. And there's a lot. Listen, our medical system is really screwed up. I got to tell you, your NHS, if you really look into it, it is frightening what happens in your country.
Yeah.
I understand free healthcare seems great. I mean, it's ridiculous what goes on in your country, in my view.
Yeah.
Some of the worst medicine, again, in the free world.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a lot of Brits who are going to disagree with that. There may be some doctors. I'm not saying they're bad doctors. There's a lot of, they're well-educated, very skilled. They go into the service. They go, they want to be a physician, but they are fettered by the bureaucracy of what goes on in your medical system. Same here in the U.S., but it's a little different.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, but that's my main worry because if I keep using this dutasteride, sorry, I can't say it. I mean, I've been on it for six years now.
Dude, let me ask you a question. What's the point of worrying about something that it's not even close to happening?
I know, but I know I shouldn't worry about it, but I don't know. I just think sometimes I worry. But no, I know what you mean. I mean, when the EMA thing was going on, that stressed me a bit. But then, obviously, they decided just to add more stuff to the label, so that was all right. But I try not to worry about it.
Well, you shouldn't. You're doing well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And I believe that unless better drugs come along for benign prostate hyperplasia, that these medications will always be available, and you will be able to find doctors who are comfortable in prescribing them, especially in the hair world.
Yeah. That's good.
All right, brother?
Yeah.
All right.
It really, I think.
I'm glad. Listen, you sound like you're doing well. You're 26 years old. You saved your hair.
Still young, yeah. But no, I'm so lucky that I started it quick because I've got even a friend and he's lost most of it and he won't do anything. I mean, he was talking about going to Turkey, but he's not. He's just going to shave it now. But yeah, if I didn't start that quick, I would have, been in a bad position. But I'm in a good position now.
You are in a good position. You know what? I when I look at my past, I envy you young guys because I didn't have that option. It took me 7 years of agony. And I'm telling you, I call it a disease of the spirit. And at one point I called it, I remember when I called it a cancer of the spirit and the media jumped all over me for that. But that's what it is. There's no denying that.
Once you've got something like Finasteride that can stop it, it calms you down so much because you've got control, haven't you? Or
100%.
You've got some decent control, and then you stop stressing all the time about it.
And you know what?
It's so important.
It took about 20 years, but I grew into my comb over, and I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right, brother. Listen,
But
congratulations, and
Yeah,
try not
congratulations.
to worry. You have a handful of good doctors in the UK now that can help you. Manny being one of
Yeah.
them, and
Yeah.
you're in a good position.
Yeah, like I'll hold on as like you guys say as long until and then potentially, but I'll hold on as long as I can before I do anything like a transplant.
When you
'Cause I
look
know,
at
like you say,
yourself, when you go out, you get ready to go out. When you look at
I'm
yourself in the
fine
mirror,
now. Yeah. It's only a bit of the hairline. It's a bit thin, but I can style it all right. So yeah, there's no point for now, for sure.
dude. You know,
And
and
hopefully,
if
I just
anyone ever
hold it.
mentions it, like when you start to go, I don't know if you have a girlfriend or whatever, but you know,
Yeah,
you essentially just say, "Look, I've stopped it. It's not going anywhere. This is where it stays."
Well, it is. Yeah. Do you think I'll be able to hold for quite a while?
I don't
I've
know.
been on it for 6 years. This is because we don't know, do we? You know.
Look,
But,
I have slowly gotten worse, but I've been balding for 40 years.
Yeah, that's a hell of a long time. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long time. That's an old person's lifetime.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I hope so, but I'm doing well up to now, and it's been 6 years, so I'm hoping, even if it really slowly gets worse, it's not too much of a big deal for me,
Yeah. Well, good, man. You sound like you're doing well. It's difficult. It's easy for me to say this, but try to do your best to just live one day at a time and be grateful that you've been in the position that you're in right now.
Yeah,
that's the best.
and not stress about the future. That's the main thing.
We're not. Listen, we are not promised a future. That's the thing. Especially young people, you never think about that. I think about it all the time now. I have a lot more runway or road behind me than I have ahead of me. I could drop dead on this doing the show right now. So I try to. I really do try to live one day at a time.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe brings me back into all the bullshit with this everything, all the politics and everything that goes on in this field.
Yeah.
But I really try. So listen, brother. Good luck. You sound like you're doing well. I'm thrilled for you.
Yeah. Thanks for that, and thanks for doing your videos. Because I can't remember when I probably watched one of your live videos, probably maybe when I was like 21, 22. But I learned a lot, So without that, I don't know. I might have been screwed. But cheers for that, anyway.
Well, I'm happy we're here to help, man. Take care.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care now.
You destroyed that clip. You destroyed it. He was about to finish his thought, and you jumped right in.
I didn't get the notice. Sorry.
It's all right. You have time for one more call?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. I want to get a steak. What time is it? All right. I go to this place. The happy hour fills up. It's like, oh, man.
It's too late.
Let's see what this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Marshall. I'm calling from Sacramento.
Hey, Marshall. What's going on?
Hey, Marshall.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, just listening to your show, wrapping up my day, and just had a question. Last time I checked your site with the surgeons, I don't think I saw Dr. Cole in Georgia listed on there anymore, and I was curious if there was any reason. I mean, obviously there's a reason why, but if you can disclose that or what. I saw him. I thought he was excellent.
You didn't hear him calling the program drunk?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Is that true?
Yes, it's true.
Shall I play it back?
Listen,
play it back?
We can't say, if you want to play it back, sure. We can't say that he was drunk for sure, but we think, based on the way that he was acting, that he may have been inebriated, but I'm not there, so that's really just hearsay. Go ahead, Joe.
Holy smokes. Okay, well, that's... Yeah,
Joe's going to play something for you, I think.
Okay.
It's not playing. I don't know why. Oh, wait.
You're a bad guy. A bad man. You are a bad man, serious.
There you go. That's one.
What did
That-
he?
Liar, liar, liar.
It's
Here we
because
go.
you-
Liar, liar. Pants on fire.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I heard that. What was he saying? The first.
He was calling us a bad man,
Yeah.
either me or Joe.
You're a bad guy. A bad man. You are a bad man, serious.
Yeah, that was Dr. Cole.
Well, that's not the entire call. I mean, that's just some outtakes that Joe has. But here's the reality.
Yeah.
The guy's got good hands.
Yeah, he's a good surgeon.
He's not been around a part of what we do for several years now, like 3 years, I think, or something like that.
More or less.
Yeah. I can't say anything about his work.
Yeah.
I think that he has good hands. He's been doing this for a long time. However, we got to a point where it was impossible to keep him on board and have him be a part of our organizations.
Okay.
And listen, it is what it is. What are you going to do? But there were some significant issues, not necessarily about his work. Like we said, he's got good hands. He has a lot of happy patients. Everyone has unhappy patients in this field, so it had nothing to do with that. So if you're still considering going to him and you feel like he's, in the right headspace and you're being treated well by the office and, you're comfortable, then you should be in good hands.
Okay. That's I thought I knew he had a bit of a kind of a prickly personality as far as his reputation.
Prickly. That's a good way of putting it.
That is. Yeah.
It's very kind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this was before I just heard that. Yeah. So interesting. Okay.
Look, here, the bottom line is everyone's got their off days, right? It is what it is. Now, if I was a physician, a professional, what I call a live radio broadcast, well, internet broadcast, and act in that manner, probably not.
No.
But that's just me. What do I know? I'm not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor. Maybe I would if I were a doctor. I don't know.
Yeah. If you're a little more enlightened, then you would start acting out that way.
Yeah, it's possible that I would have no self-control in public. I don't know. But look, here's the thing. The guy has skills. He's been doing this for a long time. He has a lot of happy patients. If you decide to go that route, I think you're in good hands. Now, if things go wrong, I don't know how that's going to go for you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
And I'll just say this, back when all this was happening, not once did Spencer say anything negative about the man's work, his hands, neither did I. Like we maintained that he's actually a really good surgeon. Very good hands, as Spencer said. But the only thing that could be said about us was that we were criticizing his surgeries. And it was a complete fallacy. It was a complete fiction for anyone to say that. Neither one of us ever said that. There's nothing online or even private that anyone can dig up where the opposite of that is true. And during this time, there was even at least one call from a former multi-surgery patient of his that kept insisting that we were criticizing the work. Nothing could be further from the truth.
Oh, and also he actually had that patient, I think I was from the UK, that claimed that his original surgery was performed by an IHS member in Korea when there was never who got botched. This poor guy got botched. There's never been a Korean IHS member.
He had a strip surgery in Korea that's not.
John Cole and his team really tried to kind of put that out there after this phone call. I mean, the whole thing was. Listen, we're not going to get into it. All I can tell you is, he's got a very interesting personality.
Yeah.
Is that episode still up online somewhere?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like,
Okay.
what date was that?
I don't remember the date, but it's on the playlist of this broadcast that we're doing live right now. The Bald Truth playlist.
It is priceless,
Okay.
brother. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. It was one of the best calls I think we've ever had on this program.
I would imagine you got a lot of people tuning in just to hear it. Yeah.
Oh,
As far as the shock value.
It was
Yeah.
great radio, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet. That's
So,
That's too bad.
well, what's your situation? You're going to have a hair transplant? Are you still kind of weighing your options?
still kind of so it kind of weighing. I had one with him years ago. Went great. Honestly, it went just fantastic. And I switched. I switched minoxidil treatment, and I had a what do you call it, a shed, and it never really recovered fully from it. And so, my hair looks really good still, but I lost some from doing that because I was greedy and stupid. But had I not done that, honestly,
So what did you do? You just switched from what? Different topicals?
yeah, I switched. What did I do? I switched. It was a while ago. I think I switched from the liquid maybe to the foam.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that. And
listen, that could be, any change you make you could have issues for sure. And I want to make this clear. You're already a patient of Dr. Cole's. You've already had a good experience with him. He's your doctor. So you should, in my view, if you had a good experience, that's the guy you stick with.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you have a consultation and you find him to be incompetent or, non-compos mentis or something. But otherwise, shit, man, if I had a good experience with a doctor, I'd stick with him.
Yeah. Yeah. I just saw that and I was like, huh, I like you guys said, I had not heard anything bad about him. It's all been good. And, he's very straightforward, I guess would be another sort of euphemism to use. I was curious about that because
straightforward. Yeah, that's a good euphemism. Mean, unprofessional towards his colleagues,
spiteful.
Yeah. No, I go ahead. Sorry.
No, we're just having fun, brother.
No, Is there anybody else that because all of the stuff that he does with the biologics and the new technology, and I know that can be, you kind of go, okay, is this legitimate or not? But is there anybody else who's as into that as him? Or
well, first of all, I want to tell you that you have very good instincts. He is he has a very strong understanding of the surgery. He has a lot of experience. From what I know, I don't know anything about his current work or his team. But when we had access to all that information, I mean, for the most part, things went very smoothly for his patients. I would say that with any clinic, avoid being upsold anything that has not been shown to consistently provide results in multiple facilities by multiple doctors.
Yeah. It's like I said, I was looking at his website and he does like obviously you guys know the kind of like that shockwave therapy, and I've had that done orthopedically, and frankly it sounded like bullshit at first, but the result I got orthopedically was a complete alleviation of all my symptoms. I thought, that's a very minimally invasive approach to hair loss. Again, it could all be ridiculous.
What was the issue? Was it your knees that you had treated?
No, I had my my right scapula treated. I had I had a lot of surgeries in that area, and so I had some residual inflammation, and I just could not get rid of it. It was the last piece of pain occurring, and so I went to a doctor who offered it, And, I was, you're in pain, you're willing to try a lot of stuff. And so I said, okay,
Of
I'll try
course.
this. And yeah, I could not believe it. That was a few years ago. And I know that they have different devices, and the device he used, the physician, is different than like chiropractor would use. So it's different in that regard as well. Like the PRP that, has been out for a while now. There's different ways to process it, and it makes all the difference. You can get plasma.
100%.
Yeah, I get dog shit, and, it's like, okay, well, I didn't get anything from that. Well, so
Yeah.
he seems to really dig into that, and I'm not trained enough to know, but he certainly seems to take
Well,
a deep dive into
it's
that.
I got the solution, and this is I'm glad you mentioned that, because you may not be well versed in the science behind some of the treatments that are being offered at various clinics, non-surgical, the regenerative medicine, as they say, but you don't have to be. It's a very simple thing. If you're going to a clinic, and this is any clinic, and you're presented with the options, during your consultation. Well, we're going to do this, going to do this, going to do this. If they offer you something, and some of the doctors I work with are going to be like, they don't like it when I say this, but if you're being offered upsells, first off, you need to ask why. Why are you offering this? Like, what is this going to do for me? If they say, well, it'll help you to heal better and maybe give you a better result, your first question should be, then why isn't that included? Like, why wouldn't you want me to have the best result possible? And they'll stutter, they'll stammer, and they might give you a discount on it or whatever. And it's not to say it doesn't work, but my position has always been, if you know that this is going to be a benefit, then why not include it in your surgical protocols as standard? Raise the price of your surgery if you have to, but why make it optional? That has never made sense to me. It's like, Mr. Smith, yes, we're going to be performing your cardiac surgery, your triple bypass on June 19th. Here's a list of options that will make your recovery smoother. They're only $5,000 each.
Would you like us to provide you a possible blood transfusion if you need one?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, why is it a menu of options? Like,
first of all, I have not looked at this dude's
possible
site in forever. And when you go to the About page, he has like,
oh God,
GHLS founding member, founding faculty.
Still,
it's hilarious. This guy essentially abandoned the entire operation. He didn't even go to the live summit.
Who is this?
I took over the scientific director duties.
John Cole. Yeah, John Cole. We invited him to be the scientific director of something called the Global Hair Loss Summit, which was during the pandemic. No one was able to have meetings, so people were doing things virtually. So we decided to put on a virtual conference. And I'm like, yeah, let me make this guy, a scientific director. He's telling me how he's been a scientific director for all these different conferences, and he knows what he's doing, et cetera. It ended up being a tremendous success, and it was the most attended conference, online or in person, in the history of this field, which was great. But sadly, John had very little to do with actually putting that what is it called? The agenda together.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to depend on Joe. Trying to get this guy to get anything done. I've never experienced anything, and I've worked with a lot of fuck-ups in my life. I've never experienced anything like this.
Yeah.
The level, I mean, I've never really experienced such a disorganized mind.
Yeah.
Now, that could be one of the reasons why he's so good at what he does. Sometimes people who have certain skill sets don't have other skill sets and may not have the attribution to be really well organized, or they may not have the best business acumen or whatever it is. But anyway, it's just funny. I haven't looked at his site in a while. I took a look, and he updated his entire site, but he uses that with pride. So,
okay,
but
pretty good.
But again, you had good surgery with him. So if you're going to have another surgery, why wouldn't you go back to him?
Well, I honestly, I probably would. like you said, unless I had an interaction that was just a major red flag. I mean, hearing that is it's disturbing, but also kind of like you were talking about his behavior. I've had orthopedic surgeries from surgeons who are they're jerks,
Yeah.
and you just kind of go, okay, you try and wall yourself off from that part of it, and go, okay, you're great at what you do, just don't talk to them too much, and get through it. And that's worked, in a few cases that I've had to deal with that. And so, but if someone were to show up, intoxicated with surgery or something, that'd be insane.
Listen,
So-
I mean, my concern for all these physicians is are they, for anybody. And listen, I've been in this field for so long that it's difficult for me to trust physicians, period.
Yeah.
How do I know someone didn't have a drink the night before and they're working on me with a hangover? I don't know that.
They might need one, to steady their hands.
Who knows? I'm not saying that he would do that, but, you just don't know in life. You're dealing with all these traveling technicians now. I'm not saying in his practice, but in general. And it's like they travel, they get on a plane, they come to a place to do they have surgery the next day, they're staying in a hotel. What do you think they're doing? They're hanging out at the hotel bar.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
it's funny. I'm looking at his site. Under memberships, he still has International Alliance of Hair Restoration Surgeons - 2023. Like what?
With no end date.
I think he meant that to be his end date. But it's kind of like, what the F is wrong with you, man?
Well, we'll look above it. ISHRS. It's end date and start date and end date, but he doesn't have that on IHRS
because he can't remember. So anyway, it's good stuff, man. Listen, again, you had good surgery with him. I know that if it were me, as long as I felt that this guy was still, doing okay health-wise, I'd probably continue on with him.
Okay.
I mean, you make your own decisions, but I'm saying that's how I would be. If I already had a good relationship with the doctor, your doctor, and you've already had a really good experience, then why not continue if you decide to have surgery?
Yeah, no, all of that's true. And then kind of going back to what you guys were talking about before with the inclusion of the biologics, that was something that he did include at the time as well. So
good.
Yeah, that's good.
Good. Yeah, it is good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's important. If he really believes in them, then he's going to include it in the price of the surgery.
Yeah.
At the same time, I do believe that a good surgery on its own shouldn't need any sort of enhancements.
Okay.
So if you, I do think it's important that if someone's going to add at least the option, even if they're going to include it, like that's if they truly believe it's in its benefits, it should be included. But even if it's included, I think that it's incumbent upon you to say, all right, well, can you show me, other than just saying, well, I've observed better results. Can you show me anything that indicates that's a clear distinction between your results without it and your results with it? Like, what can you point me to make me feel good about this? I think it's important because I just know too much about this where it is too inconsistent from one clinic to the next. Like, if I went to Jerry Cooley and he said, and I was going to have surgery with him, and he told me, Joe, I'm going to include PRP for the recovery, I'd trust it because I've seen his PRP in action. I've had PRP from him 10 years ago. Jesus. And I did see a little bit of an improvement, but I saw a lot of great results, relatively speaking, a lot through the years of his protocols. Because this guy, like, he's one of the OG researchers into cloning and regen medicine and hair multiplication and whatever term you want to call it for that year that it's called that, I'd trust it. Some other doctors, no, just show me you do clean surgery, and that's what I want. You don't need to include or charge extra for these ancillary treatments that you just came up with 2 weeks ago. If you do clean surgery, that's what I'm here for, because ultimately it's not necessary to have anything else. If the surgery is done well from beginning to end, it stands on its own. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. No, that makes sense to me. So, yeah.
Well, anything else we could help you with? sorry to freak you out.
No.
By the way, have you guys heard anything about this doctor I've been to before and I'm thinking about going to again? How much time you got? Not to freak you out.
Yeah. No, at first I thought you guys were kidding, but yeah.
Yeah, no, listen, you called in. You asked directly, and we gave we gave you a direct answer.
No, I appreciate that. You guys do a great job. You guys have been doing a great job for years, and I think everybody probably owes you guys a lot of gratitude in this field, and I hope you guys never stop. I mean, obviously, someday you're going to stop because you won't be here anymore. But
well, tell Dr. Cole that, and he wouldn't be a pioneer in FUE if it wasn't for me. Just tell him that when you're sitting in the chair.
Well, Dr. Cole did give Spencer the Lifetime Achievement Award at FUE Europe in Manchester, England.
The first one.
The very first one. Have there been any since?
Yeah, he got the second one. It's on his website.
He gave himself an award? Is that what he did?
I don't know if he gave it to himself or he had someone awarded to him.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
But here,
honestly,
the beauty of it is I wrote his speech to present me with the award.
Oh, jeez.
This is hilarious. He asked me, is there anything, like I'm going to say some stuff. Why don't you give me some ideas? And I wrote something for him. He read it verbatim. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I should have told him, I should have put in some really cool, like other, different stats, like, my high school baseball career or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
anyway, good stuff.
No, but here, in the end, you can't take away the fact that he's good at what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's certainly he's still doing some good work as far as what I've seen, which is just good.
Well, listen, man.
He's
go ahead.
Yeah.
But he's what?
Oh no! Just when I went there was one of the people that worked there mentioned, don't make sure you don't interrupt him during the surgery, kind of thing. It was like, just be careful, don't look him in the eye, not directly. Kind of.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not. Yeah, it was like, let him work.
Don't look him in the eye.
No. I'm kid. That's an exaggeration, but it was kind of that type of sentiment where let him focus, don't distract him. Otherwise, he'll let you know that you're distracting him, and you will be chastised.
Don't let your hands get too close to his mouth either.
That's a comfortable situation. So his staff has to warn his patients to just sit there and don't talk to the doctor.
Yeah, question nothing.
I'd be like, go fuck yourself. You work for me, brother.
Oh my God.
All right, brother. That's good, man. Thank you
enough.
for that call. That's hilarious, man.
No problem.
All right,
thanks, guys.
Good luck. Take care.
Good luck. Bye-bye. Oh, Dr. Cole.
That dude is the best, man.
He is the best.
The fucking best. When I have stories about this industry, I mean, it just puts a smile on my fucking face when I think about it.
It defaults. Yeah.
Well, you could hold court at a bar talking about this shit. People don't even believe it.
Ironically, some of my best stories about him are at the bar. Just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, guys, listen, we're going to go. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I appreciate the guy that called in and put us on his stream that had a lot of people on there. It's great.
Yeah. Wasn't demeaning in the least. I quit.
Our Instagram at Spencer Kobren is mine. So follow me. And at Joe Tillman Official.
There you go. Yeah.
Joe's. Again, thank you guys for the calls. This was a fun show. Until next time, be strong. God bless. And thank you guys so much for listening. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry for any inconvenience you may have been put to prior to the program. And I'm glad you enjoyed it. And if you could now leave by the exits at the rear, that'd be splendid. Thank you.